Let me de-influence you for a second and explain the mathematical chance of making $300,000 a year or making $1.2 million a year. Social media has done all of us a huge disservice, making us think that it's normal to make $100,000 net a month. The reason I use these two numbers is, to me, $25,000 a month or $300,000 a year is the first level I ever felt materially rich. The reason I'm going to use 1.2 million is social media has seemed to glorify that everyone online is making $100,000 a month in net personal income. So I'm going to show you the actual math. Starting in the United States, only 2% of all US taxpayers file a $300,000 or greater a year personal net income. 2%. So even getting to $25,000 a month, you are 2% of the US population. That is exceptionally rare. That means out of every 100 people you meet, there are only 2 who make above $25,000 a month. 2. Now let's move on to 1.2 million a year. Less than 0.5% of all US taxpayers file 1.2 million a year in personal net income. 0.5%. That means out of every 200 people you meet, there is only a single person who makes more than 1.2 million a year. Now stay with me with this. I had Claude make this chart. This is your percent chance of making this amount of money. At 50 years old, you have a 2.76% chance of making $300,000 or more. Now, sticking with this de-influencing theme, let's talk about what social media tells us. Let's look at doing this kind of earning by the age of 35. By the age of 35, every 100 people you meet, there is only a single person making above $25,000 a month. And you would have to meet, so you have a 0.02% chance of making 1.2 million a year in the United States at the age of 35. You have a 0.02% chance. To put it into terms we can actually comprehend, that means out of every 5,000 people you meet, there is only a single person who has a mathematical chance of making more than 1.2 million a year in personal net income. 5,000 people, guys. Let's back it up. Let's look at doing this before 30. Before 30, you have a 0.66% chance of making $300,000 a year. That means if you get to $25,000 a month in personal net income before you're 30 years old, you are well above the 1% in America. Meaning out of every 151 people you meet, you are the rarest person. Let's take a step further. If you can make $1.2 million a year in personal net income at the age of 30 years old, you are in the 0.01%, meaning out of every 10,000 people you meet, you make the most amount of money. 10,000 people, guys. You have never been in a room with 10,000 people. Probably the only time any of you have ever seen more than 10,000 people together is at a concert or a football game. Think about how many people are in a college football stadium. That means if you're in a college football stadium, packed SEC game, you're talking about 60 to 70,000 people. There is maybe 6 to 7 people who make above 1.2 million. In an entire college football stadium. So stop letting social media making you believe you are behind, because you are not. It is extraordinarily rare air to make this kind of money. And it takes exceptionally hard work. This is not easy. There are no guarantees. There are no handouts. It's gonna take years of your life to build this up. You're gonna have to evolve as a human being, and you're gonna have to work your absolute ass off. Because this is the statistics of hitting this level of earnings. If you like this kind of content, please like, comment, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. I post things about real estate wholesaling and finance. I'm passionate about making more money. I'm passionate about trying to help people understand how realistic it is to do this and what it takes. If you want to achieve greatness and you want to make $1 million a year by the age of 35, you are 1 out of every 5,000 people. 1 out of every 5,000 people. You're gonna have to operate extremely different than everyone else.